A suspected robber has been killed in Diepsloot this after the community went on a rampage following a robbery in the area last night. Residents say they've had enough of crime and are not getting help from the police. eNCA reporter Manqoba Mchunu is in Diepsloot and joins me live now to give us the latest. Manqoba, good morning to you, colleague. But first, I suppose, give us the merits of this incident in terms of what exactly happened to that alleged robber when he was allegedly stoned to death.
Well, very good morning to you, Dubera. What we understand, in fact, is that this was one of the people that had been, apprehended by community members last night. And of course, the allegation is that he was one of the robbers that had been caught by the community. We understand that there was a group of about 4 robbers that had been, robbing a particular a homestead, we understand, but subsequent to that, the 3 others had managed to then escape, but this particular robber was then caught by community members, and he was stoned to death by community members. There was also attempts to set him alight, and this is when the police had then jumped in to try and stop what was happening at the time. But it speaks to what community members here are saying is rampant crime in this community, and they're saying that they've been trying to get the message across to government, to police, calling for intervention, but it doesn't seem like any of their pleas have been heard by government officials. You recall, Tumelo, that last week Friday, this very community took to the streets. They marched and handed over a memorandum to the city of Johannesburg, as well as the police, really pleading as far as the issue of crime is concerned here. It was not the first of their marches. In June, we saw quite a lot of shutdowns and marches that had happened in this community, where community members had wanted to get the message across to government, saying that they want the president to come to this area to listen to some of their issues. They are saying that they are at the mercy of criminals in this community. They do not sleep at night because of criminal elements, the robberies, the violent robberies that take place in this community, the deadly shootings that happen almost daily in this community. But up until now, they say that no intervention has been forthcoming. But I want to speak to Vincent Doe, who is the chairperson of the Community Policing Forum here. Vincent, maybe perhaps you can paint us a picture just of the situation here. But firstly, let's start with what happened yesterday. What do we know so far about this criminal that was killed yesterday, and really what was the circumstance around what happened yesterday?
Good day to you, Manqoba, and good day to your viewers. What happens here is that the community in Diepsloot at large, they are fed up about what is happening here, because we knew crime was happening at night, but now criminals are even shooting during the day, because during the day there were some gunshots going around. People were just hearing gunshots during the day, and they were just shooting around, going around. And then remember, now people have got some groups where we spoke in the groups, like people are speaking in the groups. There are people shooting, they were just shooting randomly until the police did come to intervene. Police were called by the community while those things were happening, and then the police did come, chased the guys who were doing those randomly shots, and then while they were chasing those criminals, and then until when they were caught, while the police were chasing them, but the community were busy even chasing them even with the police. And then by the time they were caught the criminals, the one of the criminals, that's when the community got rampage, and then they overpowered the police, I can say, because they were many, and then as the community is so angry, and then that's when they started to beat him and all those things which happened.
So you're saying that, Vincent, the situation is not getting any better as far as crime is concerned here. In fact, you're saying it's getting worse.
Yeah, it's getting worse because it's now even happening during the day. Even the day before yesterday, the criminals just went into their house. They robbed people it was around 9 in the morning. They just went into a house. They took everything, 2 houses. around past 9 in the morning, then it's not like even where you have to wait for the night. No, now you can even fear for life even during the day. That's how worse it is becoming in Diepsloot.
And where we're standing, I just want to give some perspective. It's a section or an extension here in Diepsloot where a whole family was killed. They were shot at and killed. And perhaps just paint us a picture of the past few weeks, what the past few weeks have been like. How many people have been shot in how many incidents?
The day when they shot this family, where they shot a family, which was a husband and a wife and a kid, who is a 16-year-old boy, and then they went ahead and shot another guy the same night in same extension, because I'm a chairperson of CPF at Extension 11. Here in Extension 11, we have our chairperson in Diepsloot, but I'm a chairperson here in Section 11. And then they shot 4 people here at these extensions. And then while we are still grieving about all those 4 people who were shot, they came back. They shot another one. It's dead on Thursday. It's dead again. Without counting in this extension only, I'm counting more than 6, and we in a space of a month.
And I hear that there have been also, robberies, petrol stations, being targeted as well. So really, the crime situation is just spiraling out of control.
Yes, it's going skyrocket high, because when you can check, by the time when they were doing those operations, when they were bombing all those garages, they did it in a space of a week. Then they were bombing a garage inside Diepsloot, the one next to, and the one in the next. And then a cop was killed while they were doing their criminal activities. May his soul rest in peace.
So let me just ask you this before I let you go. So you've been marching. You've also you were part of that delegation that went to the president's office asking for intervention. The Minister of Police was here. But you're saying that none of those interventions, none of those marches and calls have actually bear any fruit in this community.
Yeah, by the look of the eye, because since we have been going to Union Building, you still remember you were there, Manqoba, in the Union Building when we were engaging with we were trying to call the president to come in Diepsloot so that he can bring a permanent solution into this crime which is happening here. Because why we were calling the president? Because this thing is more than only police, if I can say it. We need somebody who can these roads to be fixed for the police vans to go around, because definitely at night these police, they can't be going around in such a darkness where you can't even to see a people, you have to bump on him. Then that's the reason we're calling for the president, so that those ministers can be here. Then they can see. For now we're not even saying let them do a tar road. Even if they can fix only these roads which are there now, if they can make them drivable at night or easy for the police to drive, that's all we can look where we want, so that otherwise the police vans can be patrolling at night and all these things. Because to be honest, there isn't any change at night. It's you can't sleep.
What are you hoping for then? Are you still wanting government to come, especially the president? What is it that you want going forward? And what are you saying about the police in terms of visibility as well?
That's why I'm saying during the day or at the main street, there is a visibility. As I'm saying, maybe inside the township, it's because of the condition of, yes. But for now, what we need police visibility, to be honest. That's much we need to them. We need them to. We need us. So when it's at night, we need to see the police. When you can hear. And then the other thing, Manqoba, if you call the police, if the crime is happening, it will take 2 hours for them to get into the scene. Then there is no ways where you call the police and then they arrive after 5 minutes, especially at night. That's when we need the reaction of the police.
Okay, thank you very much, Vincent Ndo, who's the CPF chair here in Extension 11, just giving us a sense of what the community is really going through. Brazen shootings that are happening here, even in broad daylight. The robberies continuing unabated in this community. And of course, they're saying that they still want those promises that were made by the police to be kept. And saying that even though they've stopped the protests, it didn't seem to help this community as far as fighting their issues. Here, they are still at the mercy of criminals in this community. As you can hear, quite a desperate plea for some sort of intervention. And ironically, it's months after this community had taken to the streets over the very same issue.
Manqoba, oftentimes when we speak to Diepsloot community members, the same, concern is raised about a lack of police visibility, a lack of intervention by police, a lack of, sense of urgency when it comes to dealing with issues around crime. Because from, the guest that you're speaking to, the resident there is saying that, gone are the days in Diepsloot where crime is only conducted in the evening, in broad daylight. That's how brazen these criminals now are. And I suppose that's speaking to how community members are feeling quite fed up with criminality within the area, but also continuing to appeal for assistance from the SAP as well. We'll continue to place a close eye on this issue with you on the ground with us, Manqoba Mchunu, out in Diepsloot. Of course, this at the back of that alleged robber was allegedly stoned to death after being accused of crime. We understand another group managed to escape and flee off the hands of angry community members and a mob that was definitely quite intentional in, just expressing how fed up they are really with crime within the area. We'll continue to, of course, give you more developments around the story in Diepsloot.